So I've arrived at a junction. There's where we came in, and there is a drift here to the right where Nick went. And then turning to my right, we have a shaft right here going down, pretty steep, and then there's a drift off to the left that way. So let's follow Nick. Oh, and right here is a ladder going up into the stopes, and the ladders continue right there where my light is. So maybe we'll climb up there and check it out. And then here's an ore chute right next to the ladders. And as usual, it's clogged. You can see rubble behind the chute gate there. Another ore chute down here. I got a series of ore chutes here with a retaining wall. Very common in these stope mines. Ah, that's open. Look at that. It's rare to find an ore chute that is open. So you can see up in there into the stope. Now the stope is the void that remains underground after the miners remove all the ore. They call it a stope. And those support timbers you see there, those are referred to as stalls. Kind of a funny word. And that's pretty much vertical, the stope. And the ore chutes right here, they would have tumbled rocks out into an ore cart waiting on the tracks right here. And that's how they did it. Got another chute here. And these dots, that's how the miners kept track of the loads of ore, I guess, with a series of dots. I think each dot represented a cartload of ore. But anyway, that's a really narrow chute. But massive retaining walls holding back all the rubble that wasn't sent down the chutes. You can see them right there. And we're headed this way. So check out all the colors here in the wall. Pretty spectacular. Arrived at another junction to the right. Nick said he was going to take all the rights at every junction, so he probably went that way. But that looks like a side drift. I'm going to stick to the main tunnel where the tracks are. You can see on the remnants of the on the tracks here, the remnants of the dark splotches are the grease they would use to lubricate the tracks and whatnot. So I guess the ore carts might move a little easier and cut down on the noise that they make. Here's a Y intersection. This mine is certainly complex in its layout. Passageway there, and another passageway that way. Let's check out the drift to the left. So again, you can see how this leads up into the stopes, way up there. Right there's a good example where my light is of the room and pillar method of mining. They would leave pillars of rock behind for support. That's one right there. And again, you can see more miners' dots here. These were made with nails. And yeah, a lot of loads of ore came out of this area. More dots over here. Yeah, there's another great shot looking up into the stope with the pillars left behind for support. Uh-oh. Dead end. Ends in an ore chute. That kind of makes sense. Yeah, that's it. Let's go back and take the other junction. So we just checked out that junction. So let's take the right tunnel, the right-hand side. Oh, this is taking us right into the stope. Now the tracks ended right here. So we're at the far end of the stope here. Looks like it might continue there. I see a hole right where my light is there, but this is pretty much the far end of it. There's more of the stope. Where my light is, you can see the different layers. They were probably mining some of that. But let's head back to the main junction and see if we can't find Nick. So that way is the exit. And Nick has already gone down here. He came back out. So let's go check this out. There's a ladder remnant. So continuing down this drift tunnel, that's just a little dead-end alcove. So here's a bat. What I think is really interesting about these bats, let me zoom in, are their little claws. See that? Right there's little claws that hang onto the rock while they're sleeping. This just keeps going. Kind of curving to the left. Basically featureless so far. Another turn to the left. A sharp turn to the left. Part of an old can right there. So there's a turn here to the right, and then, wow, that is a big retaining wall. Emergency exit. So yeah, we're again kind of at the bottom of a stoped area that's up off to our left. More retaining wall there where my light is. Here's looking up into the stope. You can see the retaining wall there that's keeping all the waste rubble out of sight and out of this manway. Probably used to be ladders here going up. And here's the back side of that retaining wall. You can see all the dirt and rubble there that's being held back by the boards. However, over here on the other side is a shaft going down into a lower area that also looks to be stoped. Oh yeah, it goes down there 50 feet, if not more. So there are stopes below us as well. And I think over here, oh yeah, you can see here off to the right, the stopes that I just was talking about. Yep. Wow, that's amazing. And more up here off to the left. Boy, ladders down there with an exit sign. I don't believe the exit's down that way. The exit, here's another sign, is up these ladders. And there's airflow coming through here, so That makes sense. But that's looking up into the stope. There's a really small pillar where my light is. And then more stalls. More pillars. Well, we've reached the end of this drift level in the stope. Right there's the end. But looking up in there, you can see all the support timbers, stalls, and then here's a retaining wall that comes down here, and there's an ore chute right here. So let's head back to the junction and catch up with Nick. Not sure what was going on here. They put some timbering here. This may be, you know what? I think this is a false floor over a shaft. Yeah, very dangerous. We'll stay to the right. Yeah, you can see the boards right there. Yeah, that probably leads down into the stope that's right up there where my light is. Wouldn't want to fall, have those boards break and cause you to fall down in there. Okay, so Nick climbed up these ladders, but believe it or not, it led to a dead end. There was a false floor platform that you couldn't get past because it had rubble on it. No gate or no door, just a dead end. So he's coming back down. Kind of sketchy right there because there's a section of ladder missing where he's at.